Welcome back to Bloomberg News. Today's jobless claims report may be signaling a slowdown in the labor market recovery, but our next guest says today's online job demand report from Monster Worldwide provides some hope. He is David Resler, a Bloomberg best and one of the most accurate forecasters in the world. David is the chief economist at Nomura Securities International and was formerly an economist at the St. Louis Fed. He joins us now from his firm here in New York. David, welcome to Bloomberg News. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Good to be here.
David, talk to me about this monster index today. We got some information. The index rose for a fifth straight month. It was up 7 points. But as you know, the unemployment rate is still hovering near 10%. Where's the disconnect?
Well, I think the unemployment rate is a reflection of things that are happening both on the hiring and firing fronts, and we've had a rough balance of those. What we've been missing so far in this economic recovery has been evidence of hiring. There's been a slowdown in layoffs, despite today's increase in jobless claims. Yeah. Layoffs have slowed, and that's accounted for most of the improvement in the unemployment rate. But up until recently, we've seen very little evidence of much hiring. Yeah. And today's Monster.com index, which was the highest since November of 2008, it included increases in all 9 Census Bureau districts. Right. And I think it's an indication that companies are starting to advertise for jobs. That's very good news for the job market, not so much necessarily in June, but going forward.
But they are we to get a sense that they are not your traditional jobs, not the same type of jobs that you had pre-recession? A lot of people are going to have to go back to school. They're going to have to get better educated to switch careers, if you will.
Well, we don't know the composition of those jobs. We can identify the jobs by industry, but there's not enough detail available in our data to tell us what specific jobs are on offer. Yeah. But the fact that there are more jobs out there is a good sign, and some people who have been unemployed for some time will qualify for those jobs, and whether they go back to school first or take them right away, I think it's a good sign that the jobs are coming back.
David, in May, you were on Bloomberg Surveillance with my colleagues Tom Keene and Ken Pruitt.
Right.
Tom began with a simple question. He said, quoting here, "How's our economic confidence?" And I'd like to follow up on that. What is the psychology of the economy right now?
It's clearly deteriorated in the last month. The Consumer Confidence Index reported on Tuesday was quite weak and shows a lot of anxiety, not so much about the recent developments, but about the outlook. And I attribute that to a dramatic increase in economic uncertainty. Not just about what's going on in the U.S., but also what's going on overseas. Right. The crisis in Europe has taken a toll, I think, on the stock market. It's a good part of the reason for the stock market's decline.
Well, David, let me ask you about that. Is the export-led recovery, in your opinion, losing strength?
Oh, I'm not sure it's been all that much of an export-led recovery. Exports have improved. That's part of it. And we're going to see decent growth in exports, especially to Asia, with the Chinese and Indian economies leading the way. But the key is going to be sustained growth in the domestic economy. And more recently, the setback has come primarily in the housing sector, where we're seeing a temporary hesitation after the surge of tax credit-induced buying.
All right, David Resler of Nomura joining us from his firm's location here in Manhattan.